Hello, Breakfast Club. Geahk Burchill here. I have a question which has come up because of the recent mass shootings. Now, of course, I'm a fill-in host, so I have no idea where this video will show up, but I can guarantee you there was a recent mass shooting. Maybe it's not the one I'm talking about. It's the one that happened just the other day. Whatever that was, sometime in the future, there's going to be another mass shooting. Now, I have a question for the people who use a particular argument regarding the Second Amendment, which is the protection against tyranny argument. The reason I have a problem with this, and I'll set aside whether or not my views are about, taking everybody's guns, coming for your guns, whatever the Alex Jones concern is. I'm more interested in why on earth anybody thinks this is a good argument. Like, everybody across the political spectrum invokes the T word. If the whole premise of the Second Amendment is to protect American citizens against tyranny, you failed. I don't see how you can convince anybody that this is a good argument. Yet I don't hear a lot of people respond to this. You know, if you wanted to protect the United States against tyranny, you should have started 30 years ago. You should have made sure that districts weren't gerrymandered and that we had free and fair elections and that money in politics didn't, become the overwhelming reason why candidates were elected. There's a million things that could have been done that were all political options 30, 35, maybe 40 years ago. If you were going to shoot your way out of tyranny, you would have done it already. And you didn't. You stood by and you watched it happen. All the gun lovers out there who claim their AR-15 or whatever the hell it is was going to keep the U.S. from sliding into whatever fascist state. Now, we can debate all you want about whether or not we currently live in a fascist state, by whatever technical definition. But it seems like everybody across the political spectrum agrees that something ain't right, that it isn't what we thought it was supposed to be. So I just wonder what on earth anybody's talking about when they pretend like we're going to go back to some way it used to be. I mean, to go back to the way it used to be, you have to break up a whole bunch of huge corporations. How do you deal with Google or Facebook or Twitter? How do you deal with any of the massive multinational conglomerates? I mean, from Amazon to Walmart. Does your Second Amendment protect us from the tyranny of Amazon? I mean, it's kind of preposterous. It's a bad argument. Your Second Amendment didn't do shit. Didn't protect anybody from anything. Now, I'll get to the whole thing about guns, because I don't actually believe that anybody's going to come take all the guns away. That's impossible. Not only that, even if it did, there's 3D printing guns now, there's homemade, there's all kinds of things. The idea that we are going to somehow return the United States to a pre-gun proliferation baseline, I don't think is even remotely reasonable. I'm not interested in collecting people's guns. Maybe a buyback program, voluntary stuff, but it's not going to make much of a difference. I think we have to look at it more as a cultural issue, as a economic issue. There's a particular desperation in the American consumer and worker that is, I think, fairly different from any other country that has guns. I mean, if you go to Switzerland, everybody loves bringing up how everybody in Switzerland has guns. They never mention the fact that ammo is hard to get. The people in Switzerland aren't feeling the economic pinch. They aren't seeing the tremendous wealth gap that we are in the United States. I'm not sure what the solutions are, but I know that the solution to tyranny is not guns. If it were, it would have already done something. And the solution to guns is probably not confiscating them. That's an impossible task. That's a task along the line of people on the right who think we're going to deport 11 million immigrants or whatever the number is. It's a ridiculous assertion. Nobody's ever going to do that. So we have to come up with different approaches. Anyway, I've been Geahk Burchill. This is The Breakfast Club. Subscribe, like the video if you liked it. If you disagree in the comments. I'll join you down there. If you want to know when future videos come out, click the little bell icon. Thanks very much, Breakfast Club. Have a good one. Bye. The globalists are coming for us. They've taken all our guns and they're making the freaking frogs gay.